This video is brought to you by Lightspeed. We're a Zulu.
Bill, thanks for being with us. Third segment of our interview prior to AOPA Expo. In the last segment, we talked about technological initiatives that AOPA has taken part in. Let me ask you your personal crystal ball. If you could look at GA 10 years from now and GA 20 years from now, what would you expect to see based on your 17 years as head of AOPA?
Well, 10 years from now, I would expect to see Phil flying more fun airplanes, landing when the weather's bad, and staying in a unique new town and eating dinner at some restaurant that's a local dive, and then going on and finishing a trip, rather than flying in the flight levels and having to get there and give a speech and do work. Seriously, in 20 years, I probably won't have a medical, so I can look and say that answer isn't valid. I think really in 10 to 20 years, I hope we see changes in the one propulsion system that really hasn't changed, and that's the piston engine. And I believe we will. We've gone to composites, as we stated in an earlier segment. We've gone to avionics that's second to none now in the panel. And about the oldest thing we have in these planes is what brings us through the sky. And I think we've got to look, and others should be looking at, is it small jet engines driving propellers? Is it the diesel that will finally come of age? Whatever.
Would you expect that the AOPA, its organization, would be made up of more people who are flying turbines? And by turbines, I probably mean some type of light turboprop with the piston engine kind of in eclipse in 10 years or 20 years?
If what I said holds true and we can bring the cost and the weight down of those engines, yes, but I think there's still going to be, remember in an earlier section we talked about LSAs, I think there's going to be a huge mix. The affordable airplane is going to fall in that small piston-powered airplane or some other power plant that just gives people the experience of the third dimension without all of the utility that perhaps a larger, more expensive plane to operate. And we've traditionally been there. Our membership has transitioned. Last survey we did, 55,000 of our 415,000 members fly turbine airplanes. And another 50,000 are on a career path to fly turbine airplanes.
Does that mean then that it's possible that the association will have a slightly declining membership that consists of wealthier people that fly more expensive airplanes? Is that a natural condition?
I think we'll have an increasing number of wealthy people who fly airplanes, expensive airplanes. But I'm an optimist in terms of the pilot population. You can't ignore that we really haven't done a job in educating the public. And I know some of the things on the books, I'm going to expose them at Expo, are going to endeavor on our part to get more people interested in flying. The figures speak for themselves about AOPA and membership. 2 out of every 3 pilots, more than 2 out of every 3 pilots, are members. So if I'm right and we can work on building that pilot population, then 2 of the 3 of those will become members, and we won't see a decreasing membership.
In about 2 months' time, Craig Fuller is going to take over, and you're going to step out of the picture. What is the single best piece of advice you think you can give Mr. Fuller?
Listen to the members. Listen to the pilots and owners. Think like them. Don't, anytime I start saying, oh, this is what I do, I'm wrong usually. It's survey. Constantly survey people. Talk to people. Why do I go on the road and do these pilot town meetings?
How many town meetings did you do, by the way?
I don't even want to think about it. The lines in my face would probably, and gray hairs from getting through weather or whatever. But it's the membership we represent, and it's being their advocate that counts. So it may be fun to work on esoteric projects, but we've got to think always about what does the common member really want out of this legislation.
Last question, what happens to Phil Boyer? I know you have a couple of airplanes, at least at last count you did. What do you plan to do? Hal Shevers told me you bought a place out on his residential air park. What's your plan?
Well, my wife gave me permission to live with my airplanes. I have a restored biplane like the Waco that we gave away a few years ago, and I have a 172 that I'll probably upgrade to something like we're sitting in front of here or some other airplane. For business travel or just personal travel. And I'm going to walk out my kitchen door and If you turn left, you're in the garage, and if you turn right, you're in the hangar. Putter around and do what I haven't been able to do for about 18 years.
But I suspect we'll still see some involvement in AOPA from you?
I would guess that not necessarily in AOPA. I'll stay a member, but in the aviation field and community. I think the worst thing I could do is stick around and be second-guessing Craig, second-guessing a staff that's second to none, and let them do their own thing and not have me to be looking over the shoulder, but enjoying the fruits of their labor.
Well, we certainly hope that you enjoy your retirement, Bill, and on behalf of all the AVweb viewers, I'd like to thank you for your service. It's been terrific.
Well, thank you for being preeminent kind of in this whole electronic media area as a company that's been in print for a long time, and I still am looking just this morning even some of your publications. It's neat to see you embrace the ability to get out and do things like this that very few are doing.
Well, thank you for taking the time.